over the years, I've come to believe that a significant part of the dysfunction in my so-called illusion, the relationship with the narc, stem from his unresolved struggle with his sexual identity. When we were really young, I would say 17, 18, there were more moments that raised questions. I didn't even have the language or understanding to process what was going on, but obviously he was into pornography, and I found some gay porn that he was looking at when he came over to my house, and I was shocked. Obviously there was straight porn too, but there was more situations throughout the years where his explanations didn't add up. It just didn't sit right with me, and there were experiences where he seemed drawn to male attention, and it really was confusing to me, and it did hurt me. One trip that I took with his family to California for a quince, it stands out pretty vividly to me. This much older man was persistently pursuing him and flirting with him and sitting so close to him. And I remember the narc was, he appeared like he was enjoying the attention. The older man was whispering in his ear and staying really physically close to him. And I found it really weird and gross. And rather than the narc distancing himself, he seemed to like the attention. And when I was trying to distract him to, come dance with me or stay away from that guy, he was creepy, he became irritated with me and very dismissive. And it was like he wanted to connect with this older man. And it was confusing. I'm still confused, even though it happened over, close to 23, 24 years ago. Just remember leaving that event in tears. I went to go stay in their van until they were done with the party and clean up or whatever they wanted to do, and he was still with that guy, and just found it really gross and odd, and it was really unsettling. Anyways, that was something being hidden from me all these years, and looking back now, I just see the patterns. I'm a lot older now, and for what it's worth, I can accept that he's probably gay or bi, and I have asked him before, and he's insistent and say no, hell no, he's not. And ultimately throughout the years, like, he would have these weird connections with gay men. About 5 years ago, this person named Ralph Rivers just appeared in his socials, and I was like, oh my god, they're having a lot of conversing back and forth. Who is this guy? And the narc was very dismissive and would get pissed off at me whenever I brought him up. This guy lived in Florida, in the same county as us, and I'm not going to be surprised if later on I find out that they were actually hooking up. But it was a pattern. He ultimately did abandon us. He didn't want to spend time with any of the kids, let alone me. He was increasingly withdrawn from real connection with his family, with us, and, nobody could have known, because the way we appeared in pictures, the way we appeared on social media, it was like we were just a normal family, but he abandoned us. That's the damn truth. It was really sad, and it's still sad to see that he'd rather devote his time talking on the phone with these random people that he's never met in real life, and he'll never pay attention to his sons. They're essentially growing up without a dad. So besides the constant phone calls with his male friends, gay friends or not, I don't know, the online interactions with strangers is just constant. He has the cable running to his room every weekend, and his social world online, he decided to exclude me entirely from it. It's like he completely shut me out. He would talk to me about his podcast and get angry with me that I wouldn't listen to his podcast. And I told him, whenever you're talking about your podcast, it's just crude. You're talking about the same stuff over and over and over again. Like, he likes consistently repeating himself and talking about the same stuff, and he's really vulgar and he's perverted. And it's like, you know what? Tell me something new. Tell me something of substance, please. And the guests that he has had were very interesting. I'm not saying all his podcasts were that way, but looking at it from a standpoint of truth, he was living a secret life. He was emotionally absent towards me and the kids, and this double life took a profound toll. It really did, on me. You could see it. Even before our vacation in D.C., you could see it. He was consistently giving me the silent treatment. Whether or not he was cheating on me, he was staying out late, claiming he was working, and really getting angry with me very easily, and then demeaning me and starting to really criticize me about my looks. And it hurt. It hurt deeply. But back to whether or not he's ever going to be open about his sexuality or ever be honest with himself or others, that's not my business anymore. Because I don't want him. That's not my burden to carry anymore. And the reason why I'm getting emotional is because I carried that burden. You know, what matters is acknowledging how living in his dark shadow of, someone else's unspoken truth, it really contributed to many, many years of confusion, of rejection, and deep, deep hurt. And allowing myself to finally let him go, it's so freeing. Like, I love the feeling that I have now, just not having him as a burden and as a parasite on me. It's allowing me not just the clarity, but the validation I denied myself for so long. Clinically, I asked him to get a diagnosis about his personality disorder, narcissism. I have emails documented. Told him, please get some therapy, not just for you, but for the sake of the kids, and he refused. And I don't want to see him hurt, obviously. I don't want to see my kids hurt. I just want to move on as peacefully and as calmly as I can without his wrath. And I don't want to be scared anymore. I hope he finds himself and is finally happy with himself, and he could leave me alone. I don't ever want to talk to him again. I don't want him to harass my kids, our kids. He lost his chance. Ever communicating with me with his behavior. The point of this revelation is just realizing that, I think a huge part of his hatred towards me was his deep inner conflict and not knowing his sexuality. Because if he's not bi or gay, he certainly is on a mental aspect, because he needs some male attention 24/7. And it's with that weirdo friend of his. So whatever information that he's been feeding him, it cost him his family. It definitely did. But I'm looking forward to the future. Thinking the next 40 years, at least I get to start my life and actually enjoy my life. Never going to allow somebody like that enter in my life, and I'm not going to fight for somebody like that ever.